Hello, Sharon.
Hello, Wendy.
Oh, so big day. Let's talk about something that I heard on one of my personal development audiobooks this week, and that was about self-doubt.
Yes, self-doubt, huh? The killer of joy as well.
It is. But, and this was the big takeaway for me, is that when we have a look at that bottom vortex of emotions and we have a look at, from anger and self-doubt and guilt and all that stuff, we don't look at the gem of that emotion.
No, that's right.
We look at it as being a negative. And
yes.
He really threw me
as a low vibration.
Yes, he really threw me into change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Absolutely.
So when the whole thing about self-doubt was look at the benefits of that. That is like a trigger for you to maybe explore something so that you gain more credibility, more knowledge, more there's an upside, because when you have that feeling, and that's what it is, it's a feeling of self-doubt, it's a prompt for you to make a change.
True.
Yeah. And so the other one too was anger. Like, we look at anger as being a really negative thing. And aren't we in a society now that doesn't want anger? Everyone just wants to be all love and light and unicorn farts, as I say.
Well, I think you still need to express yourself, don't you, through your emotions?
Well, I think you do, but I think we're in a society now where if you express anger of any sort, it's looked as negative. Where if we have a look at what anger is an individual, like, as your soul is actually expressing dissatisfaction.
Yeah, I agree. And at the end of the day, as long as you're not hurting another person through your anger and how are you reacting and behaving with that anger, I think anger is a healthy thing to release.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like anything, when emotions sit stored in your body, they manifest as disease.
Yes.
We know that. So it's a good thing to move it out. But we have to look at what's the lesson around that anger? What is or what's the benefit of having that emotion? Like self-doubt. Like when it came through, it was like, I never looked at it like that. It was always self-doubt's like, I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
Whereas self-doubt is, there's something I need to look at.
I need to change.
I'll go and have another look at the information. Like,
yes.
What do I need to learn?
It's a bit like self-doubt could be aligned a bit to that feeling in your stomach that something's not quite right.
Yeah. Which is discernment.
That's right.
You discern a situation is good or not so good. And that's a normal state of being, fight or flight. We've got polarities, as there is night, so there is day. So we have to have a look at what are the benefits of the emotions. I think we're consistently surrounded by that whole I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not, where it could be, if we change that up, what else is there to explore?
Yes.
And how can I, through that self-doubt, you then become, you have a look at what's on offer and become more confident, which is going to give you greater self-esteem.
Beautiful. I mean, I think we straight away, when we think of self-doubt, we relate it to low self-esteem and to imposter syndrome. But you're right, by flipping the coin on it, and we talk about this all the time about flipping things and looking for it. I love the fact that thinking about it might be a prompt for you to look at what things are going on and what you need to change. I really like that. I really love that.
Yeah. I was just like,
yeah,
you know, we're looking at, you know, in our businesses, it's like that the self-care, the self-love, and we need to love on ourselves more because, you know, there might be self-doubt, there might be lack of self-esteem, like all that stuff, where this was just a refreshing take on it. And I was like, oh yeah, like that's a gem.
right.
That's a real gem.
Why am I doubting myself? And that actually gives me the opportunity to explore that more, doesn't it?
Well, it does. And sometimes that self-doubt, and I know we touched on this in the mastermind, you know, we can have that self-doubt when it's unfounded. And all it is that we haven't been prepared to grow into the posture of what we need to be able to put ourselves in that position, in that position of authority or expertise or whatever. It's about us growing into the posture and being confident to take that step into the posture.
Absolutely.
And to do that, like, you have a look at something that you're really passionate about, you'll talk, like, you won't have any self-doubt about that, will you? You'll be quite confident in putting your take on it, and your self-esteem won't shrink back because it's, and I'm not talking about anything to do with business here. I'm talking about, it might be making scones. Or it might be changing a baby's nappy, or it might be making a cup of tea, a cup of herbal tea, or it might be, you know, changing a tire on a car. That whole self-doubt is overcome. It's not something we think about because we're confident we've learned all there is, and we're confident in the knowledge that we have. And so using it as that little propeller to go, you know what, let's do an evaluation here. Is there anything there that or do I just need to get out of my own way and take that step forward into the posture?
That's exactly right. It could be just a kick up the arse to get out of your own way.
Yeah, for sure.
Because as we know, we're all different. We are all different. We all experience things. And I think something that I'm just getting from what you talking about this is, by having that self-doubt, it brings us back to focusing on ourselves and our needs.
Yeah. Yep.
So we can go, well, okay, what if I got this self-doubt? What's going on here? What's going on with inside of me to be experiencing these feelings?
Yep.
And so it actually might not be, you might even find that it may go back to that's not even new. It's something that you're doing that just isn't right.
It's not aligned.
That's right.
And the other thing is that quite often we think that we're the only ones experiencing it. But I can guarantee that there is 99.9999% of people on the planet that do have or are experiencing self-doubt in some aspect of their lives, in one topic of their lives.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
Because they have self-doubt about that one topic, they then allow that to pollute all the rest of their lives.
Oh, yeah. That's where the self-sabotage comes in, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's because I'm not really good at that, means I must be shit at everything else. And that's just not on. That's not how it is.
It's look, I'm pretty, look, we never stop learning, do we? It's a never ending journey of learning. And
we stop learning when you're in the box.
That's right. And we're always looking at ways to be comfortable in our skin, I guess is the best way to say it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't flip the coin on your self-doubt, you really could be putting on concrete boots because you're doubting yourself so much. Whereas if you flip it and go, well, what do I need to learn from this? Yep, I like it. I like it.
Yeah. You know, it's learning I'm free to be me.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And look, probably too much self-doubt is not healthy for you. And as you said, if it sits in your body for too long, if you're so filled with self-doubt that it's debilitating. Well, obviously that's a negative thing. But I like the fact that you could use it to kickstart another part of what is. It's and I'm just processing stuff here at the moment. But just the fact that if there's self-doubt there about what I'm doing, and look, I can totally relate to this because I've been doing a lot of this stuff lately myself. I've been doing a lot of inner work for me, and so self-doubt can be very paralyzing. Oh boy, but it also can make you curious and make you actually go, well, what is the self-doubt about? What am I, and you mentioned it earlier, is this self-doubt around this situation because it's not really aligning to my authentic self?
Yeah, but we have to be mindful too that we don't allow, when you said about too much self-doubt, if we're really honest, the self-doubt is about one thing, that we allow that to permeate all the other things.
That's right. That's what I was saying.
Self-doubt is not a thing like, it's not on its own.
No.
It's because we've got doubt within ourselves about something that we need to probably explore a little bit more and get a bit more confident with and learn. And then
or change direction.
That self-doubt isn't in everything else, if you know what I mean.
Yes. It's about, well, the I guess I'm trying to process this right at the moment as well. Is self-doubt a trigger for building confidence, for overcoming something that's not feeling right within myself?
Yeah. Because if you've done the training, whatever it is, if you've learned how to, grandma's taught you how to bake scones. You've learned everything there.
That's
it
right.
might be that the recipe may have had to change because the milk isn't the same quality as the milk, or the butter's not the same quality as the butter, or you use a margarine instead of butter, or whatever it is.
You've got a shitty oven, or that's right.
Yeah, it's fan force versus conventional, like all that sort of stuff. Or it's self-doubt about whether that's the path I should be taking. Does that feel authentic to me? If it doesn't feel authentic to me, then I really don't want to be doing that. If it's self-doubt, as in I've learned everything I know about aroma touch, for instance, and I'm really confident in delivering that. The self-doubt may be about the ability to be able to have people feel safe with hands-on, because I'm a touchy-feely person. Is that person going to be a touchy-feely person?
Yes, but would they come to you for aroma touch if they weren't?
Well, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's a good question. But the thing is, people when you book in for something, they don't necessarily know the full gamut
what they're getting. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And that's especially in our work that we do. Like, both of us that do wellness work, we do holistic wellness. And I don't know about you, but I sometimes struggle to explain when I've got someone on a table and I'm doing energy work with them and they want to know beforehand what they get. And I have to say to them, how about I just do it and then you just let me know how your experience was?
Yeah.
Because that is often something I can't describe. And so for me not to be filled with self-doubt about that, I just let them experience the journey, because I know when they do, there will be no going back for them. They will just want more.
Yeah. Yep. But aren't we just thirsty for information? You know, when I first started looking at my Ayurvedic massage therapist, now I wouldn't trade him for the world. He is like sensational. And he's just over the highway at Tanamura, Kalari Ayurvedic Centre it's called. Now, Bijou will fit me in whenever I need to go. He does our whole family. But when I first started looking into Ayurvedic massage, I had an image of what I'd read of what I thought I was going to get. And in the beginning, I used to go into West End and have it in there. And then I left my corporate role. I wanted something closer to home. So I went to Bijou, and he is outstanding. Like, there is absolutely not one thing that he does not, like, when you go there, he's just phenomenal.
Yep.
But I booked a girls' weekend for a girlfriend's birthday. So we went back into West End, and I still had that image in my head
Yes.
about what I used to get there, that then I got better there. And then when I went back, it was like, oh, this is shit. This is terrible. And so then I had the self-doubt of about the booking, like, you know,
what have I done? Why did I book here?
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
you know, so that's another way of being able to look at self-doubt. You know, go with what you feel is right. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't let you down.
No, it is. It all comes back to that authentic self, listening to your body, listening to your needs, listening to what it is. And, you know, NLP, we're always reframing everything. So reframing self-talk, what a brilliant thing.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm just going to be taking this in for the afternoon and just, you know, really thinking about that, because we so often, we just think of it as such a negative connotation, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Because that's how we've been programmed.
Well, that's exactly right.
So we've got to undo the programming. We've got we have the responsibility, and there's my word for the year. My word for the year is responsibility.
Yep.
And we have the responsibility to ourselves to explore all of it.
Yes. Oh my God. And it's interesting that I just sort of, even like, when I think about that, it's it's just such a negative, but I just love the fact that it's like I'm nearly going to say an aha moment for me.
Yeah. Well, it was for me when I heard it on the audio. It was like, what did you just say? Rewind. And to have a listen to it again, and it was so in my face. It was like, okay, that just resonated so really deeply with me, because I think we've taken on, we have been programmed so much to think so badly of ourselves.
Yes. Self-doubt it's just classified as not being good enough, not whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
But it could just be an alarm to make some changes. Yeah.
That little trigger, that little beep,
Yeah.
beep, 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 beep. The reversing,
I love that.
the reversing the noise from, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we know we all experience self-doubt, don't we?
And like I said, you know, everyone does. It doesn't matter.
We all do. We all do. It doesn't matter. I mean, you know, Wendy and I are doing this work all the time, every day. We're constantly working on ourselves so that we can be better versions for you guys. And so we're not, we are going to have self-doubt. Like, I mean, when I'm creating new programs, and I know Wendy the same with her mastermind and other stuff, like we will be worried all the time whether this is going to be good enough for you. But instead of thinking that it's just an alarm to go, hey, is this quite right? Or do we need to make some changes here? Or I love it. I just love it. I love it. I love it. For me, I just love the fact that I can use it as an alarm to say something's not quite right. What's going on? Go back and have a look at that and gain a higher perspective of it. And why are you feeling this way?
Yeah. Yep. The greatest thing for me when I was listening to it was the self-doubt for me to teach. I've got my practical class to teach for my yoga for my level 2 certification. And it's like the self-doubt is huge.
Yeah. Yep.
And when I listened to that and I brought that into context, it was like, I'm already recommending, helping, guiding, doing all of these asanas. I am able to come in and out of asanas smoothly. I've got the class down pat. Why am I self-doubting?
Yes.
What is it?
But has it come from being a child, Wendy, and just always making, and we talked about this briefly earlier, is it coming from that we always question ourselves, like that not being good enough? We live in a society where you're never going to be good enough.
It's a fear. It's, it's a fear of criticism for a start.
Oh, yes. A fear of failure, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
That's not being good enough.
Yeah, exactly. And so, track that back down to the root cause, go back and have another look there, do some more journaling around that, have another glance at how, because when we're looking at anything that is happening within us, there's always going to be the opportunity to peel back yet another layer.
Absolutely.
Because we've got to get back to the core of what we are and who we are. And I firmly believe that there's always going to be an opportunity for us to polish up. It's like a diamond, like you're just going to continue to be able to polish who you are.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. I totally agree. It's really giving me something to think about.
And if that self-doubt is one of those things that allows that to happen, then it's a good thing. It's look at it in a positive for the benefits that it brings, not in the negative connotation that we hold it in so readily.
And I think the big thing is we've always been taught that self-doubt is negative.
Yeah. Programmed.
Yes. Yes.
And so when you've got that programming, then you've accepted to a certain degree that there's a part of you that's broken.
That's right. And I had a conversation with someone, a client yesterday, how we are broken. None of us are broken. We just need to do some more learning.
Yeah.
But if we actually stopped and broke down some positive powers of self-doubt, what would you like? Let's look at 4 or 5, whoever, how many more, doesn't matter. What do you reckon positive powers of the self-doubt? What do you think we could what do you think would come from it? I reckon it would make you have more of an open mind.
Yeah, and probably when I was listening to it, it was from a business mentor. And so from my perspective there, it was like an acceptance, really, that what I knew was good enough.
Yes.
That there's always going to be an opportunity for more learning.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So do you think that motivated you?
Oh God, yeah. It actually did take an obstacle out of my way.
Yeah.
Because it was like, okay, I'm going to stumble here. This is where because I can't take that next step. I can't take the next step. It was like, hang on a second.
That's right. It was debilitating to start with, but actually it paralyzed you. But then all of a sudden you used it to motivate you.
Yeah.
So interesting. Do you think if you hadn't have heard what you heard to flip the coin on it, would you still be stuck?
stumbling. I'd still be stumbling.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Always thinking
Yeah.
that I just wasn't reaching the mark. I just and I had to have it all together. But isn't that everything in life? We all think that we've got to have every single thing together, and that's just bullshit.
Well, we've learnt that, like we've learnt the fact that you can start selling the course before it's even created. Like how many times do we get told that?
Yeah. Yep. And
I think it makes you more humble, Wendy, to be able to look at your self-doubt and know that it's not really that barrier or stepping stone or whatever, because it's just letting me, like as it said, it motivated you enough to be able to go, well, hang on, I know my work, I'm already doing this every day. Why am I beating myself up?
You know what it's done for me from a business perspective. Now, you, of all people, know I have rewritten the copy for my website over and
Yes.
over and over. Never really like committing to doing what I needed to do. Well, I was committed, but I knew I had a fallback.
Yeah.
I had the old stuff that would just do. But in the meantime, I've changed.
Yes.
And I'm a very different person. So when
we all are.
When this came up, it was like I've had that self-doubt in this space. I have to be kind of this person. And I have to rub the edges. I have to.
That's right.
I can't be a little bit Barbie here. I can't.
No.
I've got to mind my P's and Q's. I've got to like always be dancing around. And it was like, no, so many people want me for who I am.
Yes.
For what I am. So even right down to changing up that copy, it isn't the light and fairy, airy, shitty, like make you feel good.
It's be Wendy.
It is
the authentic Wendy.
This is what I'm saying. This is who I am, and this is what I offer. And can I guarantee that if you work with me that you will get results? I'd love to swear right now, but I can't. But I'll end up with a yeah. Because
but you've got to do the work as well. There's no point coming and joining with either of the work that we do and not being prepared to do the work yourself. It's an inside job.
Absolutely it is. But I'm going back to that whole, when I did my professional counselling, the business model was to have people coming back.
Yeah.
My business model now is not that.
No. You want them to.
I'm sliding into 60 this year. I don't want codependence.
No,
I want, if I'm going to do this work, if I'm going to spend the time to do this work, I want to do it so that people get absolutely every single bit of what I offer.
Yep.
So much so that they don't need to come back, that they don't need to keep going and searching. They don't need to keep going and wandering around finding, the space, that they've got the tools to be able to continue on with this as a lifelong learning journey themselves, like I do.
Yes.
In a positive way, and so that you can pick up a book and get value out of the book. That there's a little gem here and there, a little gem that's going to pop up and will be just like a sweet spot. But it's not that you've fallen apart so much that you go, oh, look, I need someone that I got to do a big program with. It's not that.
No. No. It just can be the little things.
Yeah.
Would you say from, and we'll go back to using your yoga, from the motivation, tell me what happened then after that. Did you get clarity of this is ridiculous, I'm doing this?
Yeah. So I was able to sit down, everything that because as part of the thing, we've got to teach that one class, but we've got to write out the 8 classes.
Yep.
And it was like, oh, have I got enough of this, or have I got that, or have I got that, oh, I haven't got that, have I done that? And it was like, no, I've got it all there.
Yeah.
So it was like, there's my class, there's my 8 classes, like there it is. I've got it there. So now I've just got to take my trip down, do it in front of the class, and I'm good to go.
Great.
So, you know, it was
It's like it took out a bit of procrastination as well.
oh, it's just that self-doubt. It was, you know, you have meeting other people's expectations.
It is.
And me taking on an expectation of their expectation.
Yes, that's right. And
Which
you didn't
was-
even really know what their expectation was.
Exactly. Well, did they have one at all?
Yeah, you were just assuming.
Was it an imaginary expectation that they had, that I had an expectation that they had that expectation in the first place? And I was trying to meet all of that. And it was like, yeah. And not to mention, you know, I've been doing some market research here, a girlfriend and I, and she has, like, we're going to be delivering together. I'll do mornings and she'll do afternoons.
Yep.
Because she's got a little one, and then there's some, she's, you know, she wants to do mum and bubs that will happen mid-morning, and I want to do menopause classes, which will happen sort of just after lunch, that kind of stuff. But yeah, we've been doing market research, going to a lot of different classes around our area.
Yeah.
And there is absolutely nothing that is like what we do.
Brilliant.
And so that was like another rid of that self-doubt, like just kick it. It doesn't, you don't need to hang on to that.
Self-doubt is just a sabotage, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But I will be thankful for that audio.
Yes.
Because it was just,
oh, me too.
It was just so on the money. It was just something that was so valuable to me. Like that I thought, oh, I've got to write that down. We've got to talk about that.
Yeah. No, well, it's actually been great for me as well, because it certainly will change the way I react to self-doubt. I'm going to use it as my expansion to ask, what else? Why is this? What is in this that I'm doing that's creating the self-doubt? Do I need to go back and look and review and to gain that motivation and clarity from that?
And the other thing that, you know, when I was listening to that, the other thing was when you're doing that self-exploring, it's about, you know, having good old pen and paper and writing down, you know, what is that self-doubt, but why? And that was the question, but why, but why, but why, but why, but why, but why, until you could get right down to the granular.
Well, that's true. And there's nothing more powerful than that, but why? Yeah.
And it was just, it was really very good. Very, very good.
Yeah.
And that's why I listen to audiobooks. My car is a moving university, and I just love the fact that I can fill my space, my internal space, with empowering things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Audiobooks are great because you can just, you know, have my AirPods on while I'm scooting around the house or in the car or out in the paddock. It's, I love them too.
Well, on your recommendation, I had a bit of a listen to Plan B.
Yes.
And passed that on to a couple of others. Yeah, I did. I really liked it. And
did you find the book?
No.
Okay. Wasn't meant to be.
That's exactly right. I even had a look at in QBD, and it wasn't in there either. So it might just be that it might be at
the audio book might be enough.
Yeah. So, but I'm still loving Limitless, and I'm, you know, loving 6 Habits and
yeah, that's right. And it's great to go back. I mean, I love the fact that I can go back and just re-listen to books that I've already listened to, because you just take something. I can listen to a book 5 times and take 5 different things from it, you know, each time.
You know, one of the best books, like I've been working with, you know, talking about menopause and working through this whole thing about menopause. And one of the greatest audiobooks that I've listened to, and I'll tell you a story about what happened. Dr. Christiane Northrup, she put out a book, The Secrets of Menopause. And I was in a corporate world in IT, and I'd moved, they were demolishing or doing some renovations on my office, so I had to move to a pod. And I had earphones in.
Yep.
And I had the audiobook on, and all men all around me. And the earphones fell out when she was just talking about the loss of libido and getting your sex drive back. I was like,
What are you watching,
and
lady?
they've all looked like, they've all said, what are you listening to? Like, is this porn? I was like, no,
Yeah,
no. But it is the best book if you're trying to
Yeah.
understand this transition period of your life. It is the best book to go and listen to. It is seriously one really good book. And I tend to revisit that every time I start to experience some other aspects of these wise years. Mm.
And you'll find those books that just really resonate with you, and you just want to go back over and over and over and over and get them and just listen to them.
Yeah, one of the things she teaches you to do is laugh, which is really beautiful. It's just
she is a great teacher, isn't she?
Yeah, my word, she is. A lot of respect for that woman.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, well, on that note, we've come to the end of another episode.
We have.
And don't forget that if there's anything in this episode that you want more clarity around, that you would like to have a bit of a chat about, don't forget that if there's something that's come up, drop it into our socials, because it might be something that other people would love to know about, have felt, can really concur with, that might have you start to get your own sense of community via our socials as well. So please do feel free to leave us a message. Follow us on all of our channels, no matter where we are.
That's it.
YouTube, Spotify. You can check out our Acast,
Insta, Acast.
Yep.
We have a website.
Yep. We can be present in your life.
Yes.
Pardon me, as much as you choose.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we are always looking. You can never have too many titles of topic of conversation. So, reach out to us, share something that you'd like to, you might not agree with us, but you might want to hear our and I guess it's our opinion or our thoughts on what we're thinking about that as well.
Yeah.
We'd love to share
our take on things.
Yeah, that's it, our take on things.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a better one.
Okie doke. So until next week, bye.
Be kind. Big hugs. You are enough.